Hey folks, back with another video. Let's dive into what stories got my attention today. Starting with Malaysia's former leader Najib Razak found guilty of corruption. He was sentenced to 12 years in jail and a fine of 210 million ringgit, roughly $49 million. Now, Najib Razak would most likely appeal the verdict in Malaysia's federal court. Putting that aside, hopefully this sets up a precedent and scares future leaders from committing corruption. Moving on, only one issue can bring the two opposing parties in the US: continuation of the current wars. As President Trump moves to reduce the American troops' presence in the world and put pressure on local governments to defend themselves, the House Democrats worked with Liz Cheney to approve $740 billion in military spending and also placed amendments to create roadblocks for the Trump administration from leaving Afghanistan. Now, I think Trump should push his opponents to pass a new declaration of war for each country the US troops are fighting or have fought in the last year or two. Moving on, Senator Ted Cruz said that more Chinese consulates may be closing in the future. Senator Cruz has recently been barred from entry to China. Now, he blamed the Chinese regime of covering up and allowing the spread of the virus. Now, as far as I've looked into this, I believe that the Chinese government's handling points to a combination of incompetence and foul play. Now, I would support any investigation done by a neutral party, that is, if we can find any, to determine how much the Chinese government is responsible. Moving on, some other points where the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is right that I would like to put my attention on. He is right in saying that the West is by and large an open society, innovative and prosperous. And to this day, many people dream of moving to any of the Western nation. And China has used this openness of the West to take advantage and pursue their own agenda. While every country has the right to determine its course for the future, they do not have any right to trample on other countries. However, in order to oppose China, we don't need to rewrite history. In his recent speech, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has, let's just say, not been forthcoming about the facts of the kind of engagement that Henry Kissinger and Richard Nixon had with China. I believe that if the West is going to engage with the Chinese people with a lie, that is going to be something that will harm them, and this is something that I oppose. Richard Nixon had achieved a normalization of relation and had gotten a deal with the Chinese while playing on the Soviet Russia and Communist China's fear of each other. Now, I think that Mike Pompeo should work on strengthening our relations within our allies and allow the Chinese Communist parties to fail by pointing to the facts of today, such as its handling of the virus. The West must not bow down to the Chinese Communist Party's wishes. That's it for today. If you like this video, hit that like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for any future updates. I will see you in the next video.